Zoe just texted me one day in the summer and she says, I'm dropping from pharmacy.
This was my mentality before therapy. I had to leave my relationship in Greece, which is super difficult to do.
Hey everyone, welcome to Nadia's Lab. Hello.
Hi, Nadia.
Today I have my lovely Zoe with me. Zoe's in fashion industry and she's my very good friend. So it is really a pleasure to have you here, Zoe. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's an amazing opportunity, and what you're doing, it's really exciting. You're new.
Was it a shock when I said, hi Zoe, I want to see you, let's film?
It was a shock. I mean, I know you, I've known you since university, so now you doing like podcasts, it's
a shock.
It's a shock.
Yeah, I thought it might
I'm
be.
proud of you.
So let me tell you guys a little story. You might hate me for this, but so I met Zoe, was it 2016? So yeah, September, October 2016.
10 years ago.
Oh my God, yeah, 10 years ago.
Wow.
So we have met at the first day of university in London School of Pharmacy. It was a very first introductory lecture, and I think we just saw each other.
I think you were sitting, and then I just
sat next to me.
I took a look around me and I thought, oh my God, I don't fit
Why did
here. And then I saw you and I came straight.
Why was it me out of like 200 people?
I don't know why. I think it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Yeah, some things are meant to be. And I really feel like the first person you meet on day one is the one you kind of stick around until the end. And that was our case.
Yeah.
But no, I think we started talking and then you said that you're from Athens. And I spent so much of my life in Greece and I speak Greek. I mean, μπορούμε να τα πούμε στα ελληνικά. I should practice my Greek. So yeah, we started chatting about Greece and I love Greece. Yeah, we kind of clocked.
We had a lot in common, I think.
Yeah, we had a lot of things in common.
Different backgrounds, different lives, but we had a lot in common.
So, and I really think that's the best thing you could do. Yeah. Day one of university, you find a friend, someone you're close to, and you just go through the hell of university together.
Even if it's a year only.
Exactly. Well, here we come to my point. So after a year of our lovely uni days, Zoe just texted me one day in the summer and she says...
Summer holidays.
Summer holidays. And she was like, listen, I'm dropping from pharmacy. I don't want to do this anymore. What happened? Why did you decide to just drop from pharmacy?
I mean, why did I even get it in pharmacy in the first place? I mean, well, my goal was medicine.
Okay.
So yeah, in Greece, if you have good grades, if you're a good student, and you are asked what you want to do in the future once you're old, you have to say some of the basic answers, I think, like doctor,
lawyer,
doctor.
Exactly.
So yeah, I tried to do that and I said I want to become a plastic surgeon at the end of the day.
Was it like pleasing your family or just society or everyone?
I think it was a mix of all of what you said. Family, school, friends, and I want to say that this was my mentality before therapy, which we can get into that later.
Okay.
But yeah, so I started to prepare for medicine. I did IB, I did volunteering, I was shadowing doctors, I was getting in touch with mentors from different universities. I was working towards medicine. Okay. So I applied to a bunch of different universities in London.
Yeah.
I did some of the tests that were required, like BMAT, UK got it, like from
UK got it's hard, yeah.
It was so hard. And yeah, long story short, I was not accepted for medicine in either of the universities I had applied to.
Was that like depressing? How did you feel when you got rejected?
It was, I honestly, it's like a blur. I think it was so depressing that time.
Period. It was so stressful.
It's a blur. At least I got 2 offers, one from UCL to study M-Pharm, and the other one was from Queen Mary to do biomedical sciences.
Top universities in the world.
I chose UCL, because also my father was an alumni, so I felt also like the need to do the same, kind of follow the same path, let's say.
Yeah, follow your dad's footsteps.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
You came and you
came.
there. You came there and you were like, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life.
It was so hard. I mean, I was studying a lot. I've never studied that much in my life.
Yeah.
I realized I hated chemistry. Yeah, I hated it.
It was a chemistry. It was the atomic bomb for
It
atomic
was like,
bombs.
well, what I'm doing here? I don't fit here. So yeah, I did the exams the first year in UCL pharmacy. I didn't pass 2 of my exams,
Yeah.
so I felt like this was like the turning point that made me realize that this might not be for me. So instead of sitting again for the exams in September, I decided to do what I always wanted to do and just did not admit it to myself, because fashion, at least in Greece, is not regarded as a job, a good, like, proper job.
Yeah.
So I applied to fashion business and buying in Istituto Marangoni in London.
Yeah.
I got accepted, and
And you were
dropped out of
were you
pharmacy.
happier?
I mean, it felt like a relief once I said, I'm dropping out.
Yeah.
I told my parents, this is not for me. I'm not happy. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I was alone in London doing something that I honestly hated it.
Yeah.
And
No, I remember you were dreading it every single day.
I know.
And it's hard. It was hard for me as well. Uni is meant to be hard.
It's meant.
But it's not meant to. Because at the end of the day, you're kind of studying that and you're like, okay, if you study pharmacy, you're likely going to become a pharmacist like me.
Right.
I'm not saying you have to. I mean, there are examples of, like, there's this super famous blogger and she studied pharmacy. Now she's a blogger with I don't know how many million followers. So you don't have to do that for the rest of your life, but you should use those skills. And why should you waste? Pharmacy is a long course, like 4 or 5 years of your life to do something you don't like.
Honestly.
How did your parents react?
I mean, they were shocked. They were shocked, that's for sure.
You
But
dropped this bomb on all of us. I was shocked.
I know, but I felt like, now looking back at it, I felt like I was so young. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a huge pressure on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe I wanted to please everyone around me. So my decision was not what I wanted. It was
what someone else's wanted,
or what I thought somebody
would
else
make other people
exactly.
happy.
So
Which is so bad, because when you're young, you kind of like, you obviously depend on your parents, right?
Yeah.
So it's very natural that you want to please them.
Yeah.
And it's good that they guide you and give you some advice. But I think it's really unfair. Like, my future children, they can do whatever they want. Like, they'll get my advice, but they need to decide, because it's their life. It's what they'll be doing.
Is that why also you studied pharmacy, Nadia? Because I know that your parents are like doctors, but was it the same case with you?
So my story is similar to yours, but slightly different. So I wanted to do lots of different things. So when I was really young, I was doing playing tennis, like almost professionally. And I was like, I'm going to be a tennis player. Maybe it was just the influence of like Novak Djokovic and all of that, and Ana Ivanovic. And I was like, no, I'm becoming a tennis player. And then over time, I think at some point my tennis coach was like, he was like, I think I just got lazy over time. I don't know. Yeah, honestly, I got lazy. I cared more about how I look at the tennis court than how I'm actually performing. And I was like, no. And then I did acting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. I was part of a theater, did some short movies, and I actually got a first job at national television for like a quiz. But so I was so.
Can we find this? I want to see it.
Yeah, let's not. So I actually never got to do the job, because basically what happened is that I was very bold and I just emailed or whatever, got in touch with this national television back home. And I went there, and in front of like producers and cameramans, whatever, I just stood there and I imitated people and like talked like about random stuff. And they were like, okay, we want to offer you some kind of a job. This is what we have for you, considering I was like fucking 11 or 12, I don't know. And the job that they gave me would be like every day at like 1 to 3. And my school was 9 to 3. And kind of my parents were like, there are days when I do regret it. There are obviously bad days at work. There are days when I just feel like we're not appreciated enough. I still think that our working conditions are not great, and I do not regret studying pharmacy. And I'm kind of, I feel like I was meant to be a pharmacist. Like, I'm not saying I might stick in this career forever. I might change, but kind of like it fits me. I just need to find the right place, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't regret it. I was okay with it. I didn't regret it. So I think, but if I didn't like it and I had to, if I hated university and I had to stay, I don't think I could ever do that. But it's also like you can literally, I think the beauty of life, and this is something they don't tell you at university actually. At university, I think when I was like last year of university, even though I had like good grades, had all these internships, everything, they were kind of like, oh, as an international student, you're not going to find a job. And they literally, they said to all of us, you're international, you might not find a job. And in my like, 4th year of uni, even though I've like studied so much, I had amazing grades, I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to have a job. And I was so paranoid. And that's when I looked into, okay, I'm going to go to Greece. I'm going to go back to Serbia. What am I going to do with my life? But actually, that is so not true. Like, there are pharmacy jobs out there. I found jobs instantaneously. I always have so many job opportunities. It is like, it is so like not true what they were basically saying in university.
Yeah, and I think it depends whether if you want it or not. If you want to find a job, you will find a job.
Exactly. If you put an effort, you will do it.
Right.
Literally. And you have to get like rejected. You have to practice your interview skills. But you need to be out there and you need to be trying and you need to do some internship placements, potentially volunteer work somewhere for free in order to land yourself a job. And this is what I think the university didn't really teach me, unfortunately. If you study pharmacy, you can go to work in a hospital, which is what I did, but you can also work, so there's private clinic, there is, you can work in a community, you can work in a like a local pharmacy shop, you can work in, where else can you work? You can work for pharma company, you can go into research,
there are lots of different
work in
paths
laboratory, there's a prison pharmacist, you know, you can work in a prison. Yeah, there's like a range of, or you can work for like a more like an office kind of job for like Royal Pharmaceutical Society and some regulatory bodies. So it's a lot of opportunities, which unfortunately, they don't teach you that at uni. So you're kind of like, okay, what do I do?
But it was during COVID. I mean, I went back to Greece during a study break we had.
Yeah.
And then borders closed. I was
awful.
back in Greece. My flat was here in Notting Hill, an amazing flat. My stuff was where everything was here. And I was back in Greece with one suitcase, which kind of reminds me of my situation right now. But yeah. And I was back in Greece from then.
Yeah,
since then.
but no, so you went to Greece and then you now decided to come back to London.
Yes.
Why?
I was in Greece for 5 years. I was working in Greece in the fashion industry. But then this great opportunity came into my path and to work into this really huge online store in London. And I've always known that I wanted to come back and work here and experience London as a professional. So I'm really looking forward into moving into my flat and creating a routine here. And
I'm happy for you, and I'm
It's
happy that
exciting.
you're back. And I mean, you're so bold for doing these things. Like,
It's intimidating.
you have everyone in Athens. I know how many people who love you there are still there, and then you just came here by yourself again. And when you told me, I was shocked. I didn't expect that, but I see why you did it. And
I felt like the timing was right for me to come here. Of course, I had to leave my relationship in Greece, which is super difficult to do, but it's hard.
Yeah, I can imagine it's hard.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something interesting, how COVID kind of forced you to go back.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is my theory, but I've been speaking to a lot of like, because of the podcast and just generally as my friends, a lot of people in an age group of like 25 to 30, like mid to late 20s. And a lot of them seem a little bit unhappy or like not satisfied. I would say they're having kind of like existential crisis.
Right.
And I think, I don't know whether that's maybe related to the fact that we had that global pandemic, COVID-19, that made kind of the 2 years of our life stop.
Exactly.
And a lot of things have changed. And being isolated, not being to go out, not being able to travel, being stuck. I was myself stuck. I don't even know where, but I just felt trapped. I was really unhappy. And everything kind of working from home, not going to the office, not socializing, wearing these masks, everything. I wonder if it's COVID that made us, I don't know, that like we lost 2-3 years of our life, and that's why now we feel like we are kind of like running behind.
Yeah. I feel this.
Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, I think that's the case.
There are other theories as well. So it's not just a constant COVID. So we are Gen Z generation, right? Apparently Gen Zs, when I did some like research online, there is a generation more likely to report feeling of depression, anxiety, loneliness. And it could be because of the various reasons, but the number one reason that everyone says is the impact on technology and social media. Because as Gen Zs, we grew up with cell phones, smartphones, computers, social media as our companion, like nonstop, right?
Yeah.
And having that, even though that like hyper connected online the whole time can actually make you feel isolated and lonely. And there are things like comparison traps, which is basically when you see stuff on social media and people making themselves look amazing and have an amazing life and everything's ideal, and you compare yourself and you think, well, I'm not good enough. And then there is also cyberbullying. I mean, I actually had no idea. I feel like I don't think that I personally have been well, thank God, who knows. But I see this like teenage, like one
Teenagers,
oh my God, the stuff that like young girls send to each other, and like it's really cyberbullying. And then the constant validation as well.
That's also
so needing to prove yourself. I feel like you're so good at it because you just don't care as much. I don't feel like you.
I think validation. It's not something that I look for through social media, but comparison. I'm struggling with comparison.
No matter how much you know that social media can be fake, you do compare yourself to other people.
I mean, I do it even if social media doesn't exist. I even do it in my daily life.
Yeah. So you think that we can't blame technology for that?
I think I don't know. I feel technology is to blame, but
I feel
not
people
entirely.
People have compared. I mean, look back in times, 18th, 19th century, like people were comparing to other people. I just think that before you could compare to people that you know. So you can have X amount of people that you meet through your lifetime. Whereas now, because you're on social media, you have X times 20,000 people.
You compare to somebody living in
another continent. Exactly. And that's, I think, what's making things worse.
Yeah, right.
And also, I think there's some economical things like shaky economic landscape, which they call, because of the student debts and the cost of living getting higher as well. We have to talk about that.
My God.
I mean, things are getting more and more expensive.
Right.
From like the basic things. The job market instability is listed as another reason for like economic uncertainty with the Gen Zs, and just the underemployment. And I feel like it's not impossible to find a job. I actually don't think it's difficult. But there are a lot of jobs, unfortunately, that like expect you to have years of experience.
Right. But I think that you just have to be prepared for it. If you want to find a job, you have to try hard. You have to face rejection.
Where did you go? What websites or something you used to find your job? Or
I mostly was LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
I was every day checking on LinkedIn and seeing if I can apply to any position. I was applying like to every possible position that I could fit.
Yeah.
And it just happened.
Yeah. I use LinkedIn as well. I think once when I bought my private, like when I worked in private clinic, they found me on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, they found you?
They actually approached me, yeah. But I think it's a good place. I tell people, I meet some people and they're like, I don't have a LinkedIn account. And I'm like, you're stupid. You need to. Doom scrolling and political polarization and climate change. And like, our generation is aware, okay, there's global warming, plastic polluting, killing fish, all of that, pollution general. But we can't really do much about it.
I mean, it's overwhelming just reading about all of this.
Things happening.
Yeah.
It's like we're being constantly threatened that we
Yeah.
are ruining the environment.
Which is, I think it's kind of true, but yeah, it's a bit bigger than us. But you said something about doom scrolling, and I want
Yeah.
to touch.
So that doom scrolling is basically you being on your phone scrolling whatever and being constantly exposed to negative news.
Right. And so much information bombarding.
So
you,
much
like,
information. And you know what? I was watching this video again. Yeah, people don't read books anymore. We just watch videos.
or
But
read articles.
it was something like either it was a podcast or interview, like an old Russian lady, like a scientist, whatever. And she was saying something like, you, and I love this. Honestly, I found this so interesting, and I'm gonna look into it more. But she said, like, you care so much about what you put inside your body, as in you eat healthy food, right? So you will make your eggs because they're protein, and then you'll have avocado, and you drink a lot of water, and you don't want to take too much alcohol, you stop smoking. So we care so much what we put kind of inside our metabolism, but we don't take so much care what we put inside our brains.
Right.
We watch stuff, we read stuff, we look at the videos. How many times did you end up watching something for hours and you're like, this was stupid, this was useless, this did not teach me anything, I did not get a new skill, I did not learn anything. Like, why are we putting this extra unnecessary superficial information in our brains, and our brain is just fulfilled with this stuff? And I think that's what, like, long term, that causes us anxiety and depression and all that.
There was a point in my life where I was feeling just like what you said. I was scrolling on Instagram and I felt like I was lost, I felt alone, I felt depressed, and that's when I started therapy. And I think it really helped me just explore what's in my mind and start to come in peace with my thoughts and my personality and my traumas and my experiences and everything. And I feel like there's always has to be a balance. You can't scroll on Instagram and 2 hours per day, but then again you have to also do other things that would make you evolve and be a better person. And I don't know, just
work on yourself. Work on your brain the same way you would work on your body and your muscles. Like, you go to gym, and kind of we all established we need to eat healthy, we need to go to gym, we should avoid junk food, we shouldn't smoke.
There should be a balance. Don't avoid junk food.
No, but treat yourself. I eat a burger every Sunday and I love it, and I'm not gonna give it up. It's a homemade burger though. You've tried it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But have a balance, and the same for your brain. Another thing that why I think there's like more anxiety or like loneliness, depression reported within our generation is, as a generation, we became more vocal. Like, you just mentioned your therapy. We are not afraid to say, I see a therapist. I'm feeling like this. There are people talking about it on social media. I talk about it. Like, I feel I'm not good enough. I'm not happy with this. And I feel like we kind of destigmatize the whole, mental health conversations, which before were not so commonly discussed, which is good and bad.
Right.
I feel like it's good. Because we are brave for talking about it.
We're honest.
You see other people talking about it, and then you don't feel so bad that you're experiencing that as well. But then, because everyone is talking, it's kind of becoming like a trend as well. I mean, having a therapist, it's not a trend. It's not a bag. It's a good thing, and I think everyone should have it.
I know.
But if you don't need it, don't try and find a problem in order to get it. Right?
In order, don't try and find a problem to just,
or just because you're bored.
To feel like you belong somewhere.
Exactly. And lastly, there is also a cultural shift and isolation that society is moving towards individualism, and emphasizing personal success over community. So there is less of a weaker support system, less like traditional structures like close-knit families or local communities have weakened. And this is why, they might feel disconnected. I think my advice to everyone, and this is what I tell myself, actually, my grandma is a psychologist. And that, I swear to God, that helped me so much, which is probably why I never needed a therapist when I was feeling down or I felt like people say easily I'm depressed, but to get clinically diagnosed with depression, you have to meet certain criteria, which I don't think I've ever met. But, you know, I've had my bad days, and my bad days to someone might seem like a joke, but for me, those were my bad days, right? And what's bad for me, no one else can really see how I feel. But whenever I was having those bad days, I would call my grandma, whether it's because of work or because of other things.
Reach out.
Exactly.
People, like your family, friends.
Yeah, and I would
they can help you.
They can help so much. I mean, she was literally doing it not like I'm your grandma. She would talk to me like a healthcare specialist. She would literally talk to me like she talked to her clients. And one piece of advice that she always gave me was like, find something to do. So if you are at home alone, whatever, and you're starting for a minute to have some dark thoughts, or often we stress about things that never happen. We stress about things, scenarios in our head, and you literally make yourself sad. What if this happens? Overthink, exactly. And overthink in a negative direction. And she's like, the moment that starts happening, you start do something. Go cook, go make cookies, go for a run, go meet a friend, go shopping, learn a new skill. People used to, knitting and do the knitting and cooking, and more like housework, more like physical activity. Get outside. Exactly. I think doing the people that not just with like the screen and that. I mean, sometimes like being on social media relaxes me, and I'll do it. It really relaxes me. Like sometimes I just want to like
not
after a horrible day at work, and I just want to scroll on social media, and that's okay. But if you're getting like to the point that you're anxious or whatever, just start doing something. And if 30 minutes of doing that, you're still that anxious, then call someone. And then eventually, obviously, you can see a therapist, and therapists can help. I don't know what's your experience with a therapist? Was it like?
I started my therapy like 2 years ago. So it's pretty early stages. I think it takes time. It takes commitment. You have to be ready to face some of your darkest thoughts, your past traumas, and you have to have the strength to do that. But I feel like it helped me understand why am I doing certain things? Why am I taking these decisions? And I feel like at the end of the day, I understand myself, and
better. Okay. I'm glad that it helped. And
It
you see, I had no
helps.
idea. You never told me.
It's an ongoing process. It's not like everything is solved and won't ever be solved, but it's something that I want to invest myself in, like, and continue doing.
And you also do yoga, right?
I do yoga. Also, yoga has helped me a lot. I don't know. I feel like I'm addicted to yoga.
I hear so many people say that.
I don't know. At some point, I was having my therapy, and then straight away I was going to yoga, and it was just this, let's say, 2 hours of pure mental
cleansing.
Definitely. And
I love that. But no, thank you for coming today to Nadia's lab. I really appreciate this chat. I really appreciate you being honest and brave about everything. And I appreciate you for making this big decision. I don't like pharmacy. I want to do fashion industry. I go to Athens. I realize I'm not happy there. I want to come back to London, moving from a different country, leaving everything behind. It is brave. It takes courage.
But you did the same with the podcast.
I'm trying. I'm coming out of my little closet.
Like speaking to a camera, and you put yourself out there.
I just feel like I like this, and I like to share my opinions. Some people might hate them. Some people might think that I'm just talking
always,
BS here. But I'm vocal. I guess I'm a Gen Z, and I like to express my opinions. And I try to make most of my episodes like useful. Like I'll talk about science. I'll talk about medicine. But some of them will just be me chatting about life and how I feel. And one person in a million might find it interesting and might feel like they're looking in their mirror. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and see you all next time. Bye.